Let's turn to taxes, and there's a lot to talk about. I want to break it down into some bite-sized pieces. First of all, what do you think of that? It's all over the papers today. I guess the New York Times reported it first. This idea of a new minimum tax rate for millionaires to ensure that they pay at least the same percentage of their money that they get, their income, as middle-income taxpayers.
Right. So I guess what he's saying, he's going to raise the tax on capital at ordinary income tax rates. That's raising capital gains and dividends. Look, if you tax something more, Chris, you get less of it. If you tax job creators more, you get less job creation. If you tax investment more, you get less investment. At a time when experts are telling us, including, like I said, the Fiscal Commission, we should lower tax rates on investment and job creation by getting rid of all the loopholes so we can create economic growth. So we think this is going in the wrong direction. Let's not forget that under current law that the president's already passed, the top tax rate on individuals and small businesses in 2013 goes to about 44.8%. So we have employers here in Wisconsin that pay that tax rate who are competing against countries that are taxing their businesses from like 16% in Canada, almost 21% going in England, 25% in China. The world taxes their businesses at about 25%, and he's saying we're going to tax these job creators at above 45% with this new tax. What it does is it adds further instability to our system, more uncertainty, and it punishes job creation and those people who create jobs. Class warfare, Chris, may make for really good politics, but it makes for rotten economics. We don't need a system that seeks to divide people. We don't need a system that seeks to prey on people's fear, envy, and anxiety. We need a system that creates job and innovation and removes these barriers for entrepreneurs to go out and rehire people. But I'm afraid these kinds of tax increases don't work.
But Congressman, this is being called the Buffett rule because it comes after Warren Buffett, the multi-billionaire owner of Berkshire Hathaway, said, I end up, because I get so much of my money from capital gains, I end up paying a lower effective tax rate than my secretary who gets her money in salary. What about the question of fairness, sir?
So what he's saying, what he forgets to mention on that, that's a double tax. Capital gains and dividends are taxes on money that has already been taxed once before based on income. So a person who's paying an income tax is paying the first level of tax on that money. Then when you pay a capital gains and tax, you're paying that tax again on that money that had earned this. What it does, and when we've done this before, when we've raised capital gains taxes and dividend taxes, we hurt economic growth. We stifle investment in our economy. So if we tax investment in job creation more, you will get less of it. Like I said, this looks like to me not a very good sign, because it looks like the president wants to move down the class warfare path. Class warfare will simply divide this country more, will attack job creators, divide people, and it doesn't grow the economy. Go to budget.house.gov and see a video we've put out that shows a common sense idea that has a lot of bipartisan support in Washington these days to lower tax rates on these things by going after loopholes. Those same millionaires are the people who use the tax shelters, which we want to get rid of.
I got a lot to ask you. I don't mean to interrupt, but I have a lot I want to ask you about, Congressman. Let's take a look at the big picture on taxes. The president is proposing almost $500 billion in increased revenue to pay for his jobs plan. We're told he's likely to propose at least another $800 billion in increased revenue as part of tax reform as deficit reduction. Are you saying that Congress, and I'm talking specifically about the Republican-controlled House, won't go for any of it?
You already have a $1.5 trillion tax increase coming in current law starting in 2013. Now we're talking about another $1.3 trillion tax increase on top of that. I mean, he's giving us a stimulus bill, which is basically like the old stimulus bill, just half as large, temporary tax rebates with increases, and then another tax increase on job creators and successful small businesses in addition to that. Why on earth would we go with that? Especially when the problem is spending. We want to cut spending. We want to reform these entitlement programs. And if we do it the right way, it doesn't jeopardize current seniors. And we want to have a tax system that is not designed on picking and choosing winners in society, but on encouraging investment in job creation and economic growth.